the reason why I want you guys to really master the warm-up, because you're going to be applying that knowledge to your nature, whether you drew it or you took a picture. Crappy Sharpie. Let's try another one. So let's pretend like this is my drawing. Obviously yours look better because you took your time and did your best. Me, not so much. I'm rushing. And I told you to draw it so big that it was kind of going off the page, right? Alright, we traced it with Sharpie, that way we could stay in our lines better when we use our pastel, or if we do have to cover them up with pastel, we'll be able to see them and find them and revise them. Alright. A little bit higher. Okay. So, one of the things you learned to do in the video was to take a dark color and a light color and then have a little bit of white. And what you did was you started heavy pressure, right, with your dark color, and then you slowly and gradually changed your pressure to medium all the way to light, right? So I just did the same thing that you did in your warm-up, but this time I used the shape of the petal to help me. Then you were told to use a lighter color and do a little bit of blending in the middle. You remember that one? For some of you, maybe haven't gotten to that. There's another one where you do a little bit of blending, where in the center you start heavy pressure, you get to light pressure, and in the center you do some blending. Does anyone notice what two colors I'm using? Are they complementary?
Yes.
Yes, they are. So that is one way you could go about. Okay. The other way, you did dark to light pressure, medium to light, and then you used white, and you used it in a circular motion. Okay, and what I use is my finger to kind of smooth it out, but you don't want to press too hard or you're going to erase it. So just a little bit of light pressure on the finger. I took a little too much off over there. If you take a little too much off, you can always go back and add more. But you see how I went from dark to light like you did in the video? That's how you can apply it to the petal, okay? To show a shadow and a highlight in your flower. I'm going to get it in example real quick. Because in real life, what happens is when light hits an object, you get, see how this petal is darker than this petal? Okay, so if I were to color that, I don't really have the exact color, I'll get something similar. I would want to do dark to light from the center, and then medium, and then light. You see how I have dark, medium, light? And then I can go in with my white, and I can go in a circular motion because that helps blend it. And then I can use my finger to kind of help the blend and smooth it out. Make this a little bit darker. I'm going to even use a dark color over that. But you see how it goes from dark to light, just like the petal? Okay? So that's kind of what we're doing. Okay? So finish the warm-up. And the next step, you are going to pretend like this is my photo. Whether you're doing a photo or a drawing, you're all having to do this. You're going to cut your picture 2 times. 1, 2. That way you have 3 pieces of paper. So you're going to show me knowledge of the 3 complementary pairs. So one will have green and red, the other will have purple and yellow, and then the other one will have blue and orange. And remember, you can look at your flip chart if you forget the complementary pairs and see which ones are across from each other. And then you're going to use your pastels to not only apply the techniques that you learned from the warm-up, but to also apply your knowledge of complementary colors. So I'm going to start with this one. So let's see, this one is green and red. So I'm going to make red the color of my flower. So I'm going to trace around all of the flower, and then I'm going to go from dark to light, dark to light, dark to light, and then I'm going to do my little bit of my white in there. And then I use my finger for blending. If your finger starts to get really dirty, just like with paint, you want to wash your brush between changing colors. So before I use my green, I'm going to want to probably get that off my finger so when I smudge the next color, I don't mix them, okay? So if you need to do that, just grab a paper towel and wipe it off. Or what I do is just kind of use the oils in my hand to kind of rub it off. But most kids use the paper towel instead. It's up to you. I don't mind to be a little messy. Some of you would prefer not. Alright, so now I'm going to do my green. And I'm going to just outline the green. And some of you might want, if you see a lot of details in it, you might want to consider using shades and tints of the colors. So you don't all have to. So I'm not just coloring this all green. I'm actually showcasing some details. I'm going to even add a shadow on this leaf with a darker green. See how I did that? And then I'm going to add a highlight of white. So I've got shadow and a highlight. And now I'm going to let my finger do the rest of the work. The biggest mistake students make is they smudge too much off. They press too hard with their finger when they're smudging, and they kind of take away and they erase all of the things that they did. So try not to press too hard, and if you do by accident, you can always go back. You saw how I touched up and I added more pastel in there. Alright, and then all this grass in the background, I've got a third green I haven't used yet. I can color that with this other green that I have. And then do my background this other green. So you have multiple different shades of red, tints of green, multiple different colors. But some of you are like, well, what if I want to use pink? Well, is pink a complementary color? No.
Don't use it.
So don't use it. I only want to see you using complementary colors. Now there's variety of greens, there's a variety of reds, there's a variety of blues, there's a variety of oranges, but we are only using complementary colors. Now I'm going to do one last thing because I'm a creative thinker. I am going to use a little bit of red streaks to show contrast and texture. And I'm going to fill this in all the way so it's level for craftsmanship. So I shouldn't see any white paper, I shouldn't see any gray, I should only see the two complements that I'm using. And when I rub this pastel over the red, it should automatically blend it together. You see that? And if I want to brighten it up, I could add a little white. I'm just using the side of my white, like I'm doing a crayon rubbing, and I'm brightening up my green. Alright, so this one's done. And the next one I was going to use, purple and yellow. And then the last one was going to be blue and orange. So there's one more technique you can apply from the video to your flowers. Now I know I didn't show you all of the techniques from the video that you could apply to your flower. I only showed you a few, but you kind of get the idea of the amazing ways you can connect your learning. So here's another one. I'm going to use my next group of complementary colors to do. So the middle of your flower, they have all that like little pollen and details where the seeds come out. So there's one where you have to dab your pastel. This would be a great way to apply that technique and get the same texture using your complementary colors on your flower. Okay? Alright.